This movie is the shit! Actually, let me replace the word the with complete. Okay, let's try that again. This movie is complete shit! Okay, so we start off in medieval times with medieval fighting. You know, explosions, medieval times. Who cares? It's awesome. Fighting all over the place. And then we see King Arthur and Lancelot. And Lancelot's the King Arthur like, we have to retreat. No, Merlin is coming. And they're like, Merlin, fuck that guy. He's not coming. And he's like, no, he's coming. And then we see Merlin, and he's drunk on his horse. And he says, oh, I'm sloshed. We travel old Lord of the Rings style with Merlin to find these Decepticons he trashed, and he talks to them. He's like, I kept your secret. Please help me out. I'm pathetic. Help me out, please. They give him the staff. They give him the staff of Merlin, or their staff, or whatever. And then those Transformers become a giant three-headed dragon. I know. China has that unlock with King Ghidorah, but who cares? And they go into battle. Like, fire's like, then we cut to present day, and Transformers are illegal now. And now, instead of Nest helping the Transformers, we have the TRF trying to kill all the Transformers. Okay. And then randomly, with no question at all, we transport to some random kids going through Chicago, and they find a smashed spaceship. Okay. While this random group of kids is investigating, a robot comes out of nowhere and tells them to stop, but he's gonna kill them all. And then out of nowhere, this little kid comes out of there with a Transformer and a bigger one called Canopy or whatever is hiding under this thing. And the TRF spots them and like, oh, we have to kill this Transformer because they're all evil. Even though we have documents upon documents of the Autobots helping us, all Transformers are evil, and we must kill them all. So we're gonna kill this one. And then the TRF blows up this random robot named Canopy that was her boyfriend. Oh! Although from the trailers it looked like Bumblebee, so maybe that's why I'm upset. And then also out of nowhere comes Cade Yeager from the last movie. And he comes in all like, ooh. And then he blows up the thing and escapes with the kids. Oh, but the other robot's dead. Oh, hey, let's move on. And then we cut to Optimus! Floating in space, frozen, not doing anything. And he crashes on Cybertron and it's all fucked up. He's like, what happened to our home? Even though he should know what happened to his home because it was getting destroyed in the war. So he goes in and finds this chick. And she's like, I am Quintessence. I am your creator that you've been searching for. We must destroy our greatest enemy, Unicron, who happens to be Earth. And Optimus is like, no, I will never destroy Earth. And then she bitch slaps him. How dare you bitch slap Prime? He's full of fucking Prime. But that bitch slap also, kind of mind trolls him, so... Then we come back to Cade Yeager and go save that Autobot thing that crashed that the kids are going to investigate. He dies, but he gives Cade this talisman thingy. Cade's an outlaw, so they go back to his junk shop where he's keeping all the Transformers that he's kept illegally in there. And we see the Transformers from the last movie, you know, like John Goodman bot, Japanese bot, and British shooting gun spy James Bond bot, and Grimlock. Yeah, they don't get much screen time. Actually, when they do get screen time, they're just talking. And then that kid from earlier shows up. We're talking about family and... But then we get to something you wouldn't even expect. The TRF and Megatron team up to hunt down Yeager. And they have this legal trial thing where they're releasing some of Megatron's cronies. And then they do this really weird Suicide Squad thing where they show the names of the Decepticons when they show them on screen. It doesn't make any sense. Why would they even do this? It doesn't make any sense. Why? Maybe it's all the complaints they were getting that the Decepticons weren't distinguishable. Why would they even, decide to partner up with the TRF? Why does that make any sense? So then we come back to some boring talking. He's on his phone with his daughter, and the tears and all that. But then the TRF attacks with TIE fighters. I'm not even kidding. Little mini drone TIE fighters. So they go attack the base, they all get in the cars and they're gonna get looked up. Oh, I forgot to mention there's this black nerdy kid that works for Yeager in the junkyard shop. Yeah, that's his traits. So they all leave and they're getting chased by the TIE fighters. And it all seems to end for them, but a British C-3PO/K2SO robot shows up. So the robot takes him to see Anthony Hopkins. Meanwhile, we see this super smart, hot chick at Oxford. Yeah, I guess the studio said that Michael Bay is not allowed to objectify women anymore. Awesome! So then she goes back to her house, and she's talking with her nan and her mom, and they're trying to get her a date, and they're talking about her sex life and BDSM, and she gets kidnapped by a Transformer that's going back to Anthony Hopkins. So they talk some more about how this chick Vivian that they got kidnapped was actually the daughter and heir to Merlin. And then there's this really funny scene where they're talking about how Yeager hasn't had sex in a long time and how he's chastised and all that stuff, which makes him the perfect knight and all that stuff. And we find out that Yeager's the last knight, not a Transformer, not Optimus Prime, but it's Yeager. Before we have time to freak out about that, in comes TRF and MI6 to the house to come chase him down. Ah! And there's too many of them, we think it's all over. But Hot Rod, who kidnapped Vivian, has this ultimate weapon that actually makes me wonder why if they didn't have this all along throughout the entire Transformers movies. Shoots a bullet, and it hits the ground, and an entire freeze bubble falls around all of the MI6 and TRF guys. Where has that technology been before? Where has that technology been? We could have used that so many times in any other movies. We could have fixed so many problems. We could just freeze time and save all of them. It becomes woo. Okay. And then honestly, that this really cool car chase through London with the cars and the flipping and the crashing and the exploding and all the police dying. Yeah. But it's cool. And then we come back to Optimus with Quintessa because you know they got to fill that that runtime with Optimus just so you know he's actually a viable character in the movie. So then Vivian and Yengo go back to her house because they find out that they have to get clues left by her father to find out where the staff is because apparently she only knows where the staff is told by Anthony Hopkins. So they go in the house and the mothers are like, ooh, and they hear sounds as they're breaking stuff in the room and they're like, oh, are they having some nasty sex up there? So they find what they're looking for. So they go back to Anthony Hopkins while Anthony Hopkins is getting a phone call from John Turturro. Yeah, he's still in this movie. And apparently they found some horns on Earth that are going to help do Unicron things. And is Earth really Unicron or is it something else? So they track down to a sub that itself is a transformer, but it's going to lead them to the base of the Knights where the staff is being kept. Then they find the base, and they go into the base, and then they go through the base, and then they touch the ground, and then they rise up the tomb of Merlin and take a staff, and it's wood, but then Vivian takes it, and it's the real one, and then TRF comes in, and then there's some fighting, you know. But then the Knights wake up, and then they're just kind of hitting the ground, and... But then Optimus, the mind-controlled Optimus comes in. He's so badass. He comes in, he's like, oh, sha, sha. And then he goes up, he's like, give me the staff or I'll kill you. And then Yeager just gives him the staff and he walks out of there without killing anybody, even though he's mind-controlled. But then Bumblebee goes to stop him, and they're tussling and fighting, and he's gonna kill Bumblebee. You're like, no, Bumblebee, no, you're my favorite character, no. And he's about to kill Bumblebee, and then hear Bumblebee's real voice. It's generic as fuck. But it snaps Optimus out of his mind control. But Megatron's like, fuck this, and he comes down and takes the staff and then brings it up to Quintessa. Oh no, they have the staff now, what are we gonna do? They're gonna kill Earth. Ah, it's happened like every single movie. So after this, all the Autobots, and everybody who wasn't an Autobot, and Yeager, and the little girl, wait, she came along too? And Vivian, and then the TRF, wait, they're on their side again? So during all this time, Cybertron has been coming closer to Earth, again, like in the third movie. But this time it's actually here, not coming through a portal, and it's gonna come and destroy Earth, and while Quintessa's draining the power from it. So all the TRF, all the Autobots, they all get ready to go, and Optimus Prime does his big, huge speech, and he's like, together, we are one. And it's like, yes, fuck yeah, Optimus is back, fuck yeah. So then he gets on the goddamn Knights all dressed up and transformed into the dinosaur dragon motherfucker. They all get into the planes and stuff, they're ready to go. So then they go attack the base, then they're going on the ground, they're like firing on the ground, but there's like this one gun that's shooting at them and this whole army can't tangle this one gun. So then the little girl who's on the front lines for some reason gets fucking blown up in any second. And that little robot that I mentioned before, that she was their friend, who has a new arm attachment, I forgot to mention because that was so small and unimportant, I didn't think it'd matter, but actually it does matter because of the arm of a Decepticon, so she tells her friend to go blow up the robot gun thing that's shooting at them because the military of like 20 guys can't shoot this one thing even though there's also Autobots, but they send a little guy over there to blow it up, and okay. So they get into the base where the staff is, and Yeager's there, and Vivian's there, and Optimus is there because he finally showed up and did some shit, and fine guys, and Bumblebee's there, and they go inside, and they're wrestling, and they're fighting, and they're shooting things. Yeah, there's a lot of slow-mo falling and shit. So then they get the staff, and she pulls it out, and the whole thing comes crumbling down, everything's falling down, and they're all... And then Yeager and Vivian are falling down, and they're holding hands, it's so beautiful, they're holding hands, and they're going down, and they're gonna die, and then that guy comes in, out of nowhere, and shoots the thing, and freezes time and saves them. Okay. And then Optimus comes down and grabs them, and does that thing that happens in every movie where the guys are flying out and you think they're gonna die, and they grab them and bring them inside and transform. So now the destruction of the Earth stopped, and Quintessa destroyed, and all the Autobots and TRF on the right team again, we have another speech from Optimus. I am Optimus Prime, and to all Autobots, this is our home. We must defend it. And then the movie ends. And I was so happy, oh my god! This movie was What can you say to this movie? Except smile and go, okay. Is it hot in here or is the movie just really bad?